Hello guys, welcome to Spring Boot microservices tutorial series. In this video, we will guide you through building RESTful APIs with Spring Boot 3. So from setting up the endpoints to handle request and response, how to set up endpoints to your RESTful app service application, and how to handle the request. To handle the request, what are the annotations we need. So please stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe my channel. We'll create one product service. So it is a microservice. In this product service, we'll perform four operations: add a product, get a product, update a product, delete a product. Okay, so we are performing all these four operations. So okay, so in the product, again we are having this properties: product id, product name, model, ram, price, year of manufacturing. So here I am taking product as a mobile, so we'll give mobile product id, product name like mobile name, and what is the model and how much ram it is having, and what is the price and when it is manufactured. Okay, with this field we'll create one product, and we'll do the add a product, update a product, get a product, and delete product. So for this add product, we need to use the some annotations. Okay, so in the previous video we discussed about Spring Boot 3 annotations, right? So those annotations we'll use. So add a product, like we need to use annotation post API, and update we need to use annotation put, and get we need to use annotation get mapping, and delete we need to use annotation delete mapping. Okay, these are the four operations we'll use and will build our RESTful web services. First we need to go to start.spring.io. It is a Spring initializer, and here I am selecting Maven, and this is the Spring Boot version I'm selecting, and here I'm giving the product name as a product. Here also I'm giving product. Okay, so this is the Java 17 I am using. Okay, so here what are the dependencies are required. So in this video we are not discuss with JPA. So normally we'll show while adding, updating, deleting, and getting the products. All this information will show into the console, else we'll get response directly from Postman, but we are not adding anything into the database. Okay, and we need one more plugin for this one dependency, that is for Lombard. What is the use of this Lombard means, if you are using Lombard, we are no need to write all the setters and getters, just we need to define the annotations on the top of the class. We'll see how to define those things. Okay, now we can generate this so no product is generated, and we'll import those product into our IntelliJ ID. Okay. So as of now, we are added only two dependencies, that is web and Lombard. So if you observe this pom.xml file, and here, so this is my product artifact ID, and here we are using Java version 17. And if you scroll down, this is a Spring Boot starter web, and here is another dependency like Lombard. Okay, these are the things are available as for this pom.xml. This is all about pom.xml file. Now before creating any class, we'll just recap our use case. So if you see our PPT, so we need to create the product microservices, and this product we need to perform card operations: one, create product, update product, read a product, and delete a product. So if you see this src folder, so here inside we have the main and Java, and inside only one class. This is the class it will come while creating the Spring Boot using the Spring Starter. Okay, so this is the root one, and again this annotation is coming as a combination of three annotation: Spring Boot configuration, enable auto configuration, and component scan. Okay, now we'll create the controller. So to create the controller, so what we need to use, we need to create separate package first for that. So the package name is product dot controller. Okay, this is the controller, and apart from the controller, we need to create one entity also. What is the entity name we are using? We are using entity name as a product. So we are creating one entity class. Okay, and after that we need to create service. Okay, now first we'll create the entity class with whatever the mentioned properties. So for example, if you see product id, name, model, ram, price, year of manufacturing, with this we'll create our product. So for that, private integer product id, then private string product, then private integer string model, then private double price, and if you see what else it is missing, and year of manufacturing and ram. So private string year of year of manufacturing, MAF. Okay, year of manufacturing. Then after that, ram also we are using string is a data type. So for example, if you see product id, it is integer, so it will store integer values. So here is a string, it will store string values. It is a double, it will store using the price, means price will come dot 00 or dot 50, right? So for that one we are using double, either double or we can use a float also. Okay, and these are the string. But there is a one more thing we need to consider here. I'm mentioning integer, and there is a one more class like integer class. So it is recommended to use integer class to define the variables. Okay, so apart from that, next we need to create setter and getters for this class. So we need to create setter and getters. Also we required constructor as well. Based on our requirement, we need to create constructor, either one argument constructor or multiple argument constructor. Okay, so did you remember in the form.xml file we are added one plugin for this setter and getters and constructor? This is Lombard. So now we'll see how to add those annotations. So we need to add those annotations at the data for class level. One is for data, another is for setter. For setters we need to use annotation setter, and for the getters we need to use annotation getter, and the constructor we need to use all argument constructor and no argument constructor. So it will depend upon the constructor what you want, you can use this annotation. If you want, you can able to customize the constructor also. For example, if you want to create product id, product name, only the constructor, then you can create your own constructor. For example, click on the generate, and if you see the constructor here, we need to provide whatever the fields you want. For example, if you want project name and the product name and the product id, you can click this one, see it will create the constructor. This is custom constructor. As of now, this is not required for us. We'll go with this, either no argument constructor or all argument constructor. Okay, with this our entity class is ready. But usually we are not using any annotation entity annotation here, but we are creating class inside the entity package only. But when we are using this annotation entity while dealing with the database, we need to use this entity annotations. Okay, okay, so once our this model class is ready, then we'll go with the controller. Before creating the controller, better to create service plus. So what is the service? Service is a interface. What kind of service we need to use? If you want to deal in the database operations, we can go with code operations like code repository and JPA repository. But right now we are not dealing with database, right? So we'll create normal service interface. Okay, so for that one, what we need to give here, this is a product class, right? So we'll give product service. So with this we are creating the interface. Okay, but interface level, if you are dealing database, we need to use annotation service, but here it is not required because we are not using any database related operations. Okay, now we need to create the implementation class for this service. So product IM, product service IMPL. Okay, product service IMPL. So like this we need to create interface and implementation class this for. Okay, after that we need to implement this IMPL from the product service. Okay, so right now in the product service nothing is there. So if you want, you can define some items from the some methods in the product. So what we need to perform, we need to perform card op- operations. Okay, operations. So first one we need to use public. You can use something like a string, or if you want to do, okay, we can use white. And first one is save product. So this is the one we are going to save the product. It will expect argument as a model class, product model class. Okay, so this is abstract method, and there is a one more method is required now, that is for get product. So here nothing is required. What are the items is available, it will read all the items. Then after that, so here it is retrieving, right? So we'll retrieving the list of products. So it is from java.util. It will cover under the generics. Okay, and apart from that we need to update the product. Okay, for once you are updating the product, we need to get again latest information, right? For that one we are returning the list of product. Then we'll use update product as a method. For this one again we need to pass list of, we need to pass the product as an argument. Okay, so argument. So right now, instead of getting confusion here, we'll go with the single product to return directly. So once you are familiar this one, then we can simply convert this one product to multiple product. Okay, so now save is done, get is done, update is done. Now we need to go with delete operation. Okay, product delete product. Okay, so to delete product, it is required product ID. So the product ID is, you can pass in the integer. Okay, so these are the abstract methods. So while creating the interface, we need to define abstract classes in here. Now you need to implement all this method inside the constructor, inside the interface. So if you are click this implemented methods, and it will create the empty method. See, nothing, it is written all are null. So first we need to go with create product. Okay, so what it will do, it will take product argument as an input, then it will process the request and it will save data into the database. But now we are not saving the database, we need to just print, or we need to return this one back to that request. But for time being, we need to just log this one into that log, we need to log, or we need to print using the system.io, system.out.println we can use to print this product information. Okay, system.out.println we can use product dot get product id, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, get product id, get product name, get model, and get tram, and get price. Okay, so here I'm just printing the output. While I calling the same method, it will print this output. So where you need to call this method, we need to call this method from the controller. For that, there is no control as of now, right? So we'll create one product controller first. Product controller. Okay, this is my product controller. In this product controller, we need to call code operations available in the service class. Okay, to make this controller class is a REST API, we need to use annotation as REST controller. So after that, we need to bind this one to endpoint. For that one, we need to use request mapping to add endpoint for this. Okay, so slash API I'm adding. Now first we'll create one method. We are not using database now, so we just print the information into the console. Okay, so public void save product. So again, here we can there are the multiple arguments we can use. One is for annotation request. I'll remove this comment and we'll see annotation. There is multiple other annotation request body we can use to pass product as a argument. So in this case, this product information will come from the postman. Okay, usually this is the recommended way. Okay, so we are passing this product information from the postman. Okay, so apart from that, there are few more annotation like annotation request param and annotation path params also. Okay, so if you want to pass any single variable values from the postman, we need to use annotation request param and annotation path param. They can use, but we are using to pass object here. That is the reason we are using annotation request body. Okay, so now we need to call the service class method. So if you see this service class method, this is the save product. To call this one, first we need to get object of this class. To get the object of that class, what we need to use in the Spring Boot? In the Spring Boot, we need to use annotation like annotation auto configuration. So product service IMPL, then on the top of this we need to use annotation auto wire. So this annotation auto wire will create the object for this product service class and it will gives us. So we are no need to use any new keyword and all this stuff. This framework will take care of creating this annotation. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to call that one from product service dot save product and we need to pass input as a product. Okay, and now we can see we are passing input to this method and this method will print the information into the console. Okay, and if you come back to this and here we are not to track this information like where this process is going. If you are facing any error, if you are having any error in the code, then we need to identify, right? So for that one we need to use to write some logs. Okay, so for to write the logs we need to use again Lombard dependency. One is the dependency is annotation slf forge. So here we can use the log dot info and I am mentioning the log message saying that the process execution is started from save product. So for that reason I mentioned started. Okay, so it will print log information into the console saying that this control is right now complete executed inside this method. Okay, again same thing we need to specify inside the save product also. So like that we can able to track your code. So you can easily debug this one. Okay, So here showing the error means we are not added any dependency for this. So we can add the annotation slf4j. Now this is got okay. So this is our controller. Now we are using that save product only, right? So now we'll test this API. To test this API, we are using that create product, right? So we need to use the annotation like annotation post mapping. So here we can define the endpoint name. So I'll use like create, I'll use like add product, add. Okay. So whenever call this endpoint, so it will automatically insert, automatically it will create the new product. Okay. That is our goal. So this is the API and this is a related to product service. So we'll define like API slash product, then add. Okay. To test this one, we need to use the Postman. Okay. Already I installed Postman. So I'll just open this Postman and we'll test once. So I'll start this service. So to start this service, first we need to check what is the port number is available. By default it will run in 8080, but in my system that 8080 is not available. Already it is serving other services, so that reason I'm changing this one into 9090. Okay, so I think you are clear on this. So now we'll start this service class from the product application. You can click this one and click on this run. Here you can able to see the logs. So if you see there is a issue while starting this application, so it is expected. If you see this one, fail to product service in product controller, required a bean of type product service IMPL could not be found. So if you see why it is failing to creating the object for product service IMPL. Okay. So initially we missed to give the annotation service. Why? Because while dealing with the database only, we thought to use this class. But now without database also we are trying to creating object for that one. So for that reason we need to give the annotation service or annotation component. So anyone we need to use, otherwise spring boot it will fail to identify this class and to create the object for that. Spring boot service annotation component, spring boot will fail to creating object for this class. Okay, so we need to use this one. Now again let's start this service, and if we'll start this service, and if you see the console, now Tomcat is started successfully, port number 9090. Okay, now we'll test this one. If you see the controller, it is expecting product as a input arguments. Okay, go to the Postman, and first you can create one separate collection for this. For that you can click this create new collection, click on the bulk collection, then we'll give some name like product. It is a product service, I'm giving name as a product. Okay, so if you come down, this is our collection. Then we can click on add new request. So my request is post, and what is the URI for me? HTTP localhost my service running on 9090 slash API slash product slash add. So if you just observe this one, so in the controller class we have API slash forward slash product. So in the controller class, if you observe this endpoint, it is API product and add. So we need to construct API product add like this. Okay, now we need to pass input argument. Input argument is nothing but request body is a product. What is the type? This type. This type we need to pass this one. Okay, so I have created request body for this. If you see product ID, product name, model, price, year of manufacturing, and RAM. So these are the entries I am passing with that. Okay, price if you see I'm giving 299.99 is a float. Okay, so we need to hit this API, and if you see, so I didn't given any response. It is returning white. So if you see the status code 200, HTTP status code 200 means it is success. You can go to this logs and you can able to verify. See, it is calling save product, and save product is started. Go to the inside controller, calling to the save product. This is the save product. Then system.out.println, here is the product. So if you go to the console, So it is executed successfully. Okay, now we'll do little bit change. Instead of returning the white, will return the same product, so we can able to see the response in the postman also. Okay, so we can use the return, and we'll go to the save product. In the save product also we need to go change the return like product, and also we need to change in the service class. Okay, so now it is fine, and here we need to return the product, same product I'm returning. So also we can change like log.info, and we'll write everything into the single line. Okay, how to write those things? We can check product dot get product id, and we can use the concatenation, and product dot get product name, and again we can use the concatenation and product dot get price. Okay, so like this we need to write everything into the single line. Okay, now we'll again restart this application once, and see how this response it will show into the postman. Okay, yeah, we'll start again, and now I'll hit the same API with same request. Now if you see the response I'm getting. So only one what we are not doing here is we are not storing this data into any database. If you see response also showing in the log information. Okay, so like that we need to write the post endpoint. Okay, so now we are done with post. Now we are starting with get mapping. So I have defined one endpoint with get mapping like find product, and I'm calling to the service, and here I'm creating one new product, and these are the properties I'm added, and I'm returning to the product back to the back. So here also I'm not saving anything data into the database. Okay, directly whatever the data passing from the postman, and data also I'm not passing from the postman. Only here I'm creating new product, and product I'm returning. We'll test this is from postman. Go to the postman. I am created one new get API. This is the find product. There is no body for this one. When you hit this request, it will give the response like this. So we are done with post and get. So there are two things are pending now to update and delete. Okay, these two uh, will do at the time of dealing the JPA with the database. So if you are using database, then we'll save some data in the database, then we can able to perform this operation, because here also again we need to create the same object, and based on that some ID we need to modify those properties. So like this you need to build REST API from Spring Boot. That's it from this video. Thanks for watching. So if you feel this video is helpful for you, please like, share, subscribe my channel.